without any further ado, I want to turn attention to the next guest here, who we've had on the show before. He always arrives fully caffeinated, fully prepped, ready to go. State Senator Peter Lucido, Shelby Township. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Dave, and good morning to listeners.
Great to have you on. It's been, now, I don't want to say you're quote-unquote off, because I can't imagine you ever being off. But with session being in recess right now, what's your biggest takeaway from the legislature this year? There's some other topics we're going to get into, but for the year closing out, how about the Senate and the legislature and the relationship with the governor 2019? What do you think?
Kind of hollow. And we got some big lifts done that I initiated and started from the beginning, like raise the age, civil asset forfeiture reform. We have talked about making progress on the roads, which was her number one initiative, but evidently that puttered right on out and kind of flattened 4 tires. She had no plan from the beginning. She still doesn't have a plan. She claims she's going to bring a plan out in January. Why wait? If you got it, girl, bring it. That's the way life goes. If you don't got it, then don't try to make something up.
You're not buying it, though. You don't think there is a plan.
I'm not buying into any of her stuff anymore. After what she did by gutting, we have almost a $60 billion budget with a B, and she took away about $1 billion. So I guess we did pretty good in school. They call that about a 98%. So I guess we did really well. But at the end of the day, when you gut things like secondary patrol, which is right now the worst time to be doing that because of the holidays, the drinking, the stranded drivers in the cold, the fact that people are breaking into cars. When you take away from the autistic kids, 2 weeks before you're on the stage and you said, I'd never hurt the most vulnerable individuals. When you do those type of things, including taking away from schools for the children, you're sending a message that says, I don't care about the state, I don't care about...
But, Senator, a lot of those things eventually they got funded. So it came back through.
What? Why did you gut it in the first place? What was your initiative? Tell us all how that moved Michigan forward and how that means that you're governing properly.
And what kind of feedback are you getting from people?
Here's what's going on right now, Dave, and it's a pretty unique situation because they looked at her first year, and what you do is you grade your governor, okay? When you grade your governor, you're looking at what does she say she was going to do in her initial steps when she ran. What was, everybody knows it was the roads. But she also talked about poverty. She just came out with something now. Is this cover? I know in the city of Detroit, when she made her statements about trying to get, equality and resources for poverty that's on our streets, take people in off the streets, trying to get them jobs because we got a vibrant economy, putting together a plan. I asked the voters in Detroit, did she tell you she was going to do this the day she hit the ground running as her first day in office? And I submit, she said she was, and it took over almost a year now before she even brought this initiative, and I wonder if it's just for cover, if it's just for what's called good care. This state has still... They put the world on wheels. We are moving towards alternative energy vehicles such as battery, electric,
right?
Someday solar. I'm going to quote it on your show today, Dave. Someday we'll be driving solar automobiles. The only way you get money for those roads is through the registration fee. The registration fee. Why? Every vehicle has to be registered no matter what kind it is to go on that road. You keep gas taxing people and hemorrhaging where Southeast Michigan has the most vehicles, and the money's not equally distributed, you're doing the wrong thing. So you keep the registration fees in the counties in which they were collected. That means that wherever the traffic patterns is in that county, you have the resources there. Taking 45 cents and leaving it on a gas tax, Dave, I submit to your listeners out there, when they hear that and they can buy a battery-operated car or an electric car, they ain't paying it at the pump. It was a no-starter, a no-brainer for me from the beginning. It didn't make sense to tax the people. It doesn't make sense today to tax the people because my money in Southeast Michigan is going somewhere else. And I've brought these to the county commissions in Southeast Michigan, and they all agree. This is the best plan because you're keeping the resources where they're most needed. Keep the money, buy the registration fees in the county in which it was collected. That's where your traffic is. That's where your roads are most disingenuous to the taxpayers, the voters, and the citizens.
Well, it's an interesting premise. By the way, I did have a solar car at one time. It was a Pontiac Sunfire. Get it? Okay. Never. Anyway. Okay. Now let's talk impeachment, because you've been red hot about this, and many Republicans have been. But you didn't go to the rally the other night. I think you've been to Trump rallies before there in Macomb and elsewhere. You didn't go, but if you did, you would have been probably hammering on this too, because I know you're not in favor in any way, shape, or form, are you?
I'm disgusted as to what the House did in Washington. I'm disgusted because the process is flawed. I'm disgusted because there was no evidence. And as a lawyer of over 30 years, I look at proofs.
We're short on time. I want to wish you a wonderful Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I know we'll get a chance to visit on the flip side as well. And be ready for more, because there's more coming. Eh?
Dave, to you, your family, and all the listeners in this great state, Merry Christmas to all of you, and a healthy, happy, and prosperous New Year to everyone.
Amen to that. Peter Lucido, Shelby Township State Senator, and maybe more down the road. Probably not the Lions, though. Thank you, sir. Coming back in the Morning Wake-Up, 1320 WILS.